Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. And we're live again on Blockchain Mastery Podcast. My name is Titila Oyinso, and it's a pleasure to be here once again. So, yeah, on the screen right now, there is a QR code, and this particular site has been extremely helpful to me, especially since I put out quite a lot of social media posts every single day. Now, I know that there are loads of small business owners or even larger, well, medium to larger companies that have to put out content almost all the time. Now, yes, we understand that AI is taking away some people's jobs right now. But the thing is, a lot of these continuous payments for social content has been getting very expensive. You have to agree. So, this particular solution will help for the time being, especially if there are some monotonous posts such as season's greetings posts and happy birthday to your staff kind of posts. All those kind of posts can be handled by this AI. Now, this is addcreative.ai. And if you scan the QR code on your screen right now, it'll lead you to a site. All you have to do is input the details you want from your company and maybe pick a color, upload a logo, or whatever. It will generate 100. I kid you not, 100 different designs in different shapes, different sizes that suit different sites just for you and your company. So this has been really helpful to me. Hopefully it'll be helpful to you as well. That's addcreative.ai for a more efficient solution so that you don't have to waste so much time on ad creation. All right, now to today's conversation on the Blockchain Mastery podcast. It's all about blockchain tech, opportunities, and possibilities for the future. That's what we do on this particular show. And we have a really interesting individual with us today. Now, blockchain technology, with its ability to provide secure, transparent, decentralized transactions, actually has the potential to perform, or let's say transform, various sectors in Africa, including finance, healthcare, agriculture, and governance. Now, as a result, it could indeed help to reduce poverty, increase economic growth, improve social development across the continent, and to help us understand how blockchain technology can contribute to socio-economic growth in Africa. Today, we're delighted to welcome our expert guest. He has an extensive experience in this area. His name is Dr. Talle Davidson Amedu. He's a business growth expert, he's a certified life coach and blockchain product consultant. Over 10 years, I've been hearing about this gentleman um, growing in this industry and the cryptocurrency market. And yeah, he's been helping individuals reach their fullest potential in personal and financial lives for quite a while. It's great to have you, Dr. Talle. How's it going?
Hi, it's going great. Thank you for having me.
You are
Excited to be
so,
here.
so welcome. And this conversation has been a long time coming. Am I right?
Yes, indeed. It has been. It has
We've
been.
been trying to have this conversation for quite a while. So now I sometimes try to go down memory lane into when blockchain first came to you, when you decided, you know what, I'm going to go into this, or indeed when you decided that it was worth investing in. Talk to us about your story.
Okay, as you know, I'm a trained and certified life coach, and I'm poised to helping people with multi talents, with multi potentials. I call that tribe of people multi potentialites. And in my journey of coaching this category of people, I noticed the pattern. Many of them had these multiple and diverse passions and talents and interests, but they lacked the funds to be able to power and drive their passions in these areas. So I started to go beyond just motivating and coaching them and helping them realize their potentials. So looking for ways and means they can build up funds to live out their passions and live out their dreams. And that was that was basically how I encountered cryptocurrencies. And it became more and more interesting, research upon research upon research, and I was sold completely. I read the Satoshi letter for the first time in 2015, and basically I really could understand what he was trying to communicate from that letter. And that was how I got into blockchain. And from then, it's been an exciting journey altogether.
So, for those that don't understand what the Satoshi letter is, you need to give a breakdown into what that is. There's someone brand new that has no idea. Talk to us.
Okay, so in the week of 2008, the Satoshi Dream was delivered. Basically, Satoshi wrote a letter. Satoshi Nakamoto is the pseudonym. We don't know if it's a he, a she, or a group of persons, but it's a pseudonym that invented Bitcoin, right? And there was a letter that was sent in the name Satoshi Nakamoto, which read that it was a new peer-to-peer system that was going to revolutionize this financial space. So that letter contained the idea around Bitcoin and the concepts of borderlessness, of decentralization, of democratization of finance. And basically, that letter also captured the entire tokenomics of Bitcoin and how the value is going to grow in value based on pure economics and how it will not be manipulated by central bodies and institutions. And pretty much I encountered those documents while doing my research and finding solutions for people who are multi-talented to make money. And I decided to leverage cryptocurrency to make money for myself and also help people make more money, so yes, that's about it.
Yeah. Truths, great truths there. And I'm not sure how many WhatsApp groups, or should
Yeah,
I say Telegram groups from back in the day, I knew
yeah,
you were on. Different companies came about, different platforms came about that all ended up leveraging on the use of blockchain technology at the
yes,
time. So I do feel like there was a lot of trial and error
yes,
during from between I think 2015, 2016, 2017. A lot of trial and error was going on. People were still trying to find their feet, trying to understand what was going on, what sort of technology this was. But you've gone all the way to start training people in this particular technology and way of life. Um, and of course, over the years, Africa has seen a surge of interest in blockchain tech when it comes to entrepreneurship. And even some governments are looking for ways to leverage on the technology right now. So we're talking socio-economic growth. What are the potential applications? Off the top of your head, what are the first few things that come to mind?
well, it's all encompassing, to be honest with you. I mean, you cannot even exhaust the possibilities of blockchain technology because it's a robust technology. It's an innovation that has come to stay and it is growing, right? A lot of people right now are only aware about cryptocurrencies, which is just one over a thousand, or let me say one tenth of what is possible, with the technology itself. All right. So a whole lot is possible on the blockchain as a platform, as an ecosystem, as a technology, as an innovative platform itself, ranging from insurance to supply chain to real estate to agriculture to healthcare to government, right, to different industries. The financial sector is just one part of it, and Bitcoin being the first product to be launched on the blockchain is just one part that people are aware of, right? And in countries like Kenya and some countries in the eastern part of Africa, they've been able to really tap into solutions in the blockchain technology to be able to do business better and do transactions better. People are looking for alternatives to do business that will give them speed, more convenience, and that's where blockchain comes in, right? People are looking for transparency in government, in governance. People are looking for transparency in business. People are looking for a way to do transactions and not bother themselves about trust. Oil and gas sector, upstream, downstream, logistics, just a whole lot. Even in agriculture, right? For healthcare, a lot of people don't even know their medical history. They don't even have their medical records, their medical history. There is no track record of how they have treated certain sicknesses, certain ailments, and what it took, and all of those details. And we're able to preserve these things on the blockchain. Also, a lot is possible on the blockchain when it comes to human capital development, right? People these days struggle to get and find new jobs because most people who are employing them don't even believe the CV, the curriculum vitae, the CVs that they submit. They feel like they are just doctored CVs and edited CVs. But if you have these documents on the blockchain and it's validated by a couple of computers, right? A couple of validators on the chain, it gives credibility to the person who uploaded it. So there is just so much we can do, right? We
mm,
just concluded the general elections in our country, Nigeria, and imagine using the blockchain, for the voting process. It's gonna be
mm,
more transparent, less drama free, and all of that. So a whole lot is possible on the blockchain.
mm. I'm really glad you touched on Nigeria as a case study, because I do remember us almost having to knock people over the heads with the information, talking about people having more control over their finances.
Yes.
These conversations, one on one and in groups, used to happen on Zoom. And this was Zoom being used way before COVID
Yep.
made everyone well aware of Zoom meetings, if you can remember.
Yes.
And
Correct.
we used to talk to people about the fact that having money stored in banks didn't actually mean your money was, in quote, secure.
Secure. Mm-hmm.
Um, and flash forward to last month, a few months ago, where people's hard-earned money was trapped in financial institutions.
Mm.
You're opening banking apps and you can't make transfers.
Not
You're
very
at
good.
the bank queuing at ATMs. And it did feel like an I told you so moment.
Exactly.
How many how many conversations have you had on this particular aspect of things?
I was laughing and smiling, when all those things were happening because personally, it was very, what was the word again? It was funny because I hardly
Mm,
use the bank. I hardly go to the bank because I had known this a long time ago. So when it started playing out, and sometimes in our classes, we tell people that
mm,
the money you have in the bank, it's not yours. Those are just numbers, and you've got to have control and personal control. There's some form of custody. You should have some form of self custody,
mm,
for your assets, and
mm,
many of these paper money, they are basically not solid enough. They are not sustainable because even the strongest of them all, which is the US
mm.
dollar, I'm putting that in quote,
Yeah,
is taking a
yeah,
nosedive, right? So we've had
definitely.
conversations back to back with stakeholders, with people in government, to let them know there has to be alternative. Imagine a
Mm,
country like El Salvador investing strategically in Bitcoin. I mean,
mm,
this country was literally heading for the rocks, like their
mm,
entire economy was heading for the rocks. And the president decided to create an alternative, a plan to start investing strategically in Bitcoin. And
mm,
believe you me, in the foreseeable future, that country is going to
mm.
rise up from the ashes as one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Because whether
Yeah.
certain people believe it or not, whether certain people are in agreement or not, one BTC is going to hit about $3 million in the foreseeable future.
Mm,
And if El
mm,
Salvador has been buying and mopping up Bitcoin, then they are
mm.
in for a big time asset.
Hmm.
So we have these
Yeah.
conversations every day, and it's laughable because the money in the
Mm,
bank is really worthless if we do not use it. We
yeah.
had situations of us seeing bags of money being cut into pieces, some were
Yeah.
rotting and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really a shame because these monies
Is.
can just be printed, easily, and there is no intrinsic value. The
Mm,
GDP per capita income is not growing. There is no there's a failure of leadership. There's a failure of
mm,
systems and structures. And Bitcoin is a structure. If you
mm.
bring Bitcoin into the ecosystem, it's going to do a whole lot. But I mean, we are making progress in that level of conversation, and I hope that
Yeah.
in the foreseeable future, our government will be more flexible to listen. And we're not saying that we want to eradicate and completely do away with the banks. We cannot do
Of
away with
course,
the banks,
of course
right?
not.
There
Of
are
course,
transactions that must still happen with the banks, but
of
there has
course.
to be ways and means for the centralized banking system to complement the decentralized crypto blockchain systems. And that
Mm,
understanding has to be there. As a matter of fact, imagine the banks beginning to invest in blockchain technology. That will help them become relevant in the new
mm.
age, because if they don't,
A
they
little,
become
a little
obsolete.
bird told me that that's already happening. A little
Eh,
bird told me that's already happening.
That
It's
same
just that
little
they're not.
bird told me as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's already happening, and there are
Yes,
people underground making things happen and
yes,
building structures. Of
structures.
course,
Yes,
they're also still doing their own research and
exactly.
trying to see how profitable it's going to be in the long run, because everybody in the end is out for the money, out for the financial gain of things.
Yes.
But then let's talk a little bit more about Africa and some of the obstacles that are
Mhm,
hindering
mhm,
the adoption of blockchain technology in Africa. What do
mhm.
you think is really stopping us? If a country like El Salvador could go that far,
Yeah.
if other countries are even letting you pay for plane tickets,
Yes.
pay for housing,
Yes.
education with blockchain, what do you think is stopping us here?
First of all, I think it's a knowledge gap, right? And secondly, I think it's some level of denial, right? Knowledge gap in the sense that certain people in certain places do not have the required knowledge to be able to make decisions. So it's a knowledge gap. And if they can be more open-minded, if the respective quarters can be more open-minded, to listen, to learn how this works. Because when you do not understand an ideology, when you do not understand a concept, you give it an emblem of of myth, of dissatisfaction. You give it an emblem of scam. You call it scam because you do not understand it, right? So I believe that if there are more conversations around this, the government will be more comfortable to make decisions. I've been privileged to handle some high-level premium trainings with security
Mm,
agencies in the country,
mm,
with certain regulatory bodies. I don't want
mm.
to mention names now. And
Of course,
the
of course.
feedback is usually, wow, we never knew this was like this. We never understood blockchain like this. We never understood cryptos like this, right? So there's
Mm,
just been this misconception that crypto is Bitcoin. That's all about crypto, and blockchain is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is scam. Nobody owns Bitcoin, nobody approves it, nobody regulates it. The general opinion is there, but that's why there are consultants like us who are available to provide the knowledge that
mm,
institutions and the government need to be able to make the right decision. And the
mm,
government actually, they need to understand that they have a role to play and they are the biggest
mm,
stakeholders in this. So this is
mm.
not we, even though it's a decentralized and democratized system, it's only a fool that would think that an economy will run completely autonomous from the government, like completely dependent of the government. It's not possible. No matter what we're
Mm.
doing, the government is still, I maintain, is the biggest stakeholder in the blockchain and crypto space. We cannot do without the government, right? And the
Sure.
government has a big role to play, from regulation, proper regulation, to licensing, to taxation, to enforcing compliance. And I personally have been an advocate of regulation, licensing,
Mm.
and compliance because it's going to help sanitize the ecosystem, whether we like it or not.
Sure.
It's going to help
Sure.
sanitize the ecosystem. And this is something that only the government can do, right? So they need to understand is that, yes, we need the government. We are not saying to hell with the government. We are not saying we are rebelling against the government. No, it can't happen. The economy can't function. There can't be order without regulation, compliance,
Yeah.
licensing, and all of this. So I think
Mm.
it's just the knowledge gap. If they understand this, that okay, we're not pushing you away. It's just like a man who has bread on the table. He feels like you want to take away that bread on his table. He's gonna fight you. So if the government
Sure.
believes that this is going to take power from their hands completely, or the banking system, or the powers that be feel like blockchain and crypto, yeah, is disruptive, it's gonna completely sweep them away. They're gonna fight it. So we need to have more of this conversation, shed light on the
Mm.
subject, and let them know where they can contribute, where they can participate, where they can play a very vital role, and everybody will be happy. And the
mm,
government, I can show you, there's an opportunity to have conversation with the president right now. I can show him how licensing, regulation, taxation can generate
mm,
billions of dollars for the Nigerian economy on a monthly
mm,
basis, on a monthly basis, and we can
mm.
funnel, we can channel these funds into developing our country, providing jobs, providing a whole lot of amenities for our people. But because
Sure.
the knowledge is not there, I mean, all of these things are just hanging there. So yeah,
And
it's
one
the
of the
knowledge
one of
gap.
the
That's the
irony,
biggest. There are other things.
yeah, yeah. And hopefully the right teachers, the right mentors, the right guides will come about, because in the end there is a crazy amount of debt that many
Yes,
African countries are in debt, but there's
correct.
trillions of naira of worth of debt out there that blockchain could potentially help to wipe out.
Very true.
And so you are the expert here. Is what that statement, is it true or very true that it is possible? Because for El Salvador to have gone that far, you know that they
Yes,
must have seen something. They were able to
exactly.
close that knowledge gap,
Hmm.
right? So
Yes.
let's talk a bit about use cases at this point. Now, I know that you
Okay.
build products based on blockchain technology. Can you give us some insight into some of the products you built and how they obviously are filling the gap when it comes to socioeconomic growth?
Okay. So basically, I have consulted for brands. I've mostly consulted for brands that have built products and are still building products. And recently, I'm co-founding Mirica, Mirica.health, which is an AI powered. In fact, is the first move to earn AI powered platform that is focused on promoting healthy lifestyle in Africa. We're just creating a system to reward healthy lifestyle, across Africa and for Africans in the diaspora. And this is going to be revolutionary because, we did some research and found out that 42% of the people working in Africa work remotely currently, and over 70% of that populace, they prefer to continue working remotely. And COVID was just the tip of the iceberg. A whole lot of people lost their lives, some lost their loved ones. My co-founder, our co-founder in Eureka, lost one of his very, very close uncles due to, you know, due to being during the COVID period, basically. So rewarding healthy lifestyle, encouraging people to work out, encouraging people to move, encouraging people to take care of their health and pay more attention to their health. That is what Nurica is basically doing. And what we're doing, we're helping people, right? We're helping people. We're providing solution. We're helping people to extend their lifespan. We're helping people to make the right choices by rewarding them. So you're moving your body, you're running, you're jogging, you're taking a walk, you're earning Nurica tokens. And with time, there'll be liquidity for people to be able to exchange this token. You have access to speed dial doctors on the platform and get free consultation, whether you're having palpitations in the middle of the night or whether you just need to ask some questions about a particular way you're feeling. So many of these services and features are going to be on the Nurica platform, which we are currently building. And we just launched our
Mm.
website, nurica.health. Can go over there and check it out. And our apps, the Android and iOS, are rolling out very soon. So this is blockchain. We're
Wow.
leveraging blockchain as a technology to be able to
Wow.
serve Africans, those in Africa and those who are and Africans in diaspora. And this is what basically blockchain is. And even without the tokens, this is going to be a system, that will deliver value to people. People are going to be able to house, their medical history, their medical data on the Nurica platform. So you move from this location to another. You're not bothering yourself about hospital cards or anything. You have your
Mm,
data, your medical record, your medical history on the platform, and with just a click, any doctor can access it and be able to give you prescription or recommendation or proper medical counsel based on your medical history. Now, that's a solution being built in the health space, right? In the
mm,
health
mm,
space.
mm.
All right.
Sure.
So there are different ways. I'm consulting for Mara. Mara is building Africa's one hub for blockchain education. Right. Mara believes
So
that
could you say what that is again? Mara,
Mara,
M
yes,
A R
Mara,
A.
Mara.xyz.
Okay.
Mara.xyz. Yes, yes, it's a
Mm,
big project and it's massive. It's here to
okay.
deliver blockchain education to Africans and reach the unbanked. As a matter of fact, the major target of Mara is the unbanked. All right,
Wow.
helping them to access financial products and financial solutions. The farmer who needs to pay for farm produce, all right, the market woman who is out there and doesn't even know how the banking system works. Those are the people that need to be educated, that need to be helped, and Mara is here to do that. And there's a whole lot that is happening in the Mara ecosystem, from the Mara chain, the Mara labs. The Mara ecosystem is huge and is Africa's own blockchain hub that is being incubated right now. Watch out for Mara; it's going to be really, really massive. A
Okay.
whole lot is
I
happening.
found the site,
Okay.
and it looks really interesting. Demystifying blockchain tech,
Yes.
platform for 1 billion Africans to learn while leveraging on blockchain technology to build digital wealth,
Yes.
empowering you to develop your financial literacy so you can take the greatest possible advantage of numerous opportunities
Yes, indeed.
available.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. So
indeed.
these are all use cases for blockchain technology. But because people don't really understand how these systems work,
Yes.
it's difficult to explain how this is not just a website. This
Mm.
is something that has. So, for instance, with Eureka,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I could see at the top here it says there's a white paper,
Yes.
right? Can we break down what that means? That white paper.
So in the blockchain and crypto space, when you say white paper, it's more
Can
like
I open
the
it? I can open it, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Can
yeah.
I
You
open
can.
it?
You can.
Go ahead.
You can
Okay,
open
go
it.
ahead.
Yeah, although it's also going to be updated from time to time. But basically, for
Sure.
anyone out there who just needs to understand, that's more like the entire document that talks about a blockchain project, the business plan, the projections, and the target audience, the tokenomics, the team behind it. So all that is called a white paper. And if you need to understand the fundamentals and how a cryptocurrency plan to have intrinsic value, how they
Mm,
plan to build demand, adoption, and acceptance
mm,
around their tokens or their coin, then you need to always read their white paper. So that's
mm,
essentially just like a traditional company is coming out, they have to have a business plan. So for a
mm,
blockchain project, there should be a white paper that contains all of the plans. So anyone who's looking to invest or who's looking to get into the ecosystem will be aware and well abreast of all the activities, all the projections, all the features and the products that the
okay.
particular project wants to build. So that's what is
Okay.
captured in the white paper.
Mm.
So when you go through the
Okay.
numerical
So
white paper, the current version is going to educate you on what we are doing at the
okay.
moment.
So I could see tokenomics in there. I could see so basically once people collect tokens, those tokens have a certain value and the value can be applied to something else.
Yes,
This is basically the ABCs of it. There is some gap that each company is trying to fill,
yes,
and along the way, while you invest or work with this company, you are given some kind of tokenized value.
yes,
Now, this tokenized value you're saying is housed on the blockchain,
yes.
meaning that it is secure, it is trusted, and cannot be erased,
It
so
is
to speak.
immutable. Yes,
Immutable, that's
yeah.
the word. So
Yes, yes, you
you
got
see,
it.
I know my stuff, but
Yes, you do.
it's really been a journey to get to
Mhm.
this stage where people could actually see actual use cases
Yes,
for blockchain technology. It's been a journey. It's been a long time coming. But then I'm wondering the policymakers and the roles of these policymakers.
yes,
Um, hope they won't one day be thwarted by the. Do you really think blockchain is incorruptible? Because it does feel like there's hardly ever anything that is incorruptible. And that is what people tend to have doubts about. Do you think that, fine, getting more educated in this space, involving it more, is not the huge risk everyone has been talking about for all these years?
Well, to be honest, I don't think blockchain is incorruptible. Like anything on earth, anything that has ever been on earth since the world began, even anything created by God, right? There are the angels, there are the demons. In the traditional medical space, there is the good medicine, there is dark medicine. The dark medicine economy is worth billions of dollars, right? In the internet ecosystem, there is, the positive part of the internet, and there is the dark web where a lot of shitty things happen, right? So in the same vein, that's what happens even in the religious circle, right? There are good religious teachers, there are fake religious teachers, right? It happens like that. There are programmers and there are hackers. Their job is to just get in and hack. So for blockchain, there are good actors, there are bad actors. So we're not saying it's completely sanitized. That is even why we are clamoring for the government to come in, and we hold hands together to be able to track these bad actors, right? Because even though people think that there's a lot of anonymosity with blockchain products and projects and coins and tokens, the truth is because it's an early technology that is still evolving, creators are creating tools and resources to be able to track transactions real time, right? So
Mm,
right now, not everything in the blockchain space is anonymous. I could say pseudonymous, not anonymous,
mm,
because you might just do a transaction and think you can get away with it. But there are tools right now, all right? There are blockchain forensic tools, there are cryptocurrency investigation tools that can track you to your location, even though you
mm,
didn't provide your phone number or your email, and you just did a
mm,
transaction that was quote unquote an anonymous transaction on the blockchain. So it's
mm.
innovation and it is evolving, it is growing. So the fact that there are bad actors does not mean that we're not going to get involved. The fact that there is fake Panadol doesn't mean I'm not going to drink the real Panadol. What we're saying
Mm.
is, what are the metrics? What are the yardstick for me to recognize the real Panadol? Where we need to
Okay.
channel our conversations to. We need to have this
Okay.
conversation and let the government know, because even security agencies are chasing crime in real time, in real life. Whereas 80% of the crime right now has moved from offline to online,
Mm,
and
mm, mm.
80% of that of online crimes have is gradually metamorphosing from web 2 to web 3, right? So while they are still trying to play catch up from offline to online, even in the same online, people are
Yeah.
migrating from web 2 to web 3, right? So but if they refuse to evolve with the trends, how many security operatives understand blockchain forensics? How many of them even understand how blockchain works? Yeah, how many of them are able to track crime, in the dark web, in the cryptocurrency space? How many of them understand how to use the tools, investigation tools in the crypto space, how to track transactions off chain and on chain analysis? They don't understand this, but because they've just pushed it aside and give it an emblem of scam, they don't get involved.
Mm,
That's wrong. They should get involved and start learning and open themselves up to knowledge, right? They should
mm.
pay attention to the frontiers of their ignorance, because that is what we need now. We need to be able to sanitize the ecosystem so we can track bad actors, separate the bad actors from the good actors, and we have a very sanitized ecosystem where people can thrive and make money. The truth is, people can build products that will affect lives. People
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
build products that would be the next unicorn company today. We have the likes of Paystack, we have the likes of Daba and different companies that have been built on Web 2. Now, companies that are emerging on Web 3. And in the next 10 to 15 years, the top 10 world billionaires are going to be from the crypto and
Web3
blockchain
space.
space. Yes,
True.
because back in the
True.
day, it used to be just stocks, people who made their billions from stocks, and then from
Mm,
there to real estate, and then from there
mm,
it moved to Web 2, which was the internet. We had
mm.
started having internet billionaires. Now I can tell you,
Yeah.
in the next 5, 10 years,
Facebook,
it's gonna be
Google.
blockchain and crypto billionaires. that you're going to be
Mm.
seeing. And all those who refuse to just
AI,
subscribe
AI,
will lose it. Yes,
AI as
AI is
well.
it's part of it.
Hmm.
Yes, AI. Yeah, and
So
it's
I
just
know
a
that
whole lot. Yes,
we've
please.
been going down the rabbit hole, and we have to try and find our way out again, because we are in Africa, and there are
Yes,
still basic businesses that we're trying to look out for, and hopefully find ways to apply blockchain. So, for instance, a supply chain management
yes.
company, how would they benefit from blockchain in Africa?
Okay, great. Now I get these
Mm.
questions most times. Now the thing is, there are different types of blockchain. There is the public blockchain and there is private blockchains. Now, there are certain blockchains. That's also, it brings me back to the knowledge gap. So when people say, oh, blockchain is decentralized, is largely distributed, is democratized. So how can my organization embrace it if all the documents are going to be public? If it's a public ledger and all the transactions are public and decentralized, that means everybody is just going to be seeing what's going on. Where is the exclusivity there? How will government protect some exclusive information if they start uploading and plugging it on the blockchain? So the thing is this: there's what we call public blockchains, all right, and private blockchains. So certain uses, all right, certain needs or certain projects can be hosted on public blockchains, meaning that everybody is completely decentralized. Anybody anywhere in the world can have access to the block explorer and access information or transactions or data that has been moved from point A to point B on that blockchain. But then in private blockchains, it's closed-ended. So these are blockchains within departments or within ministries in government. It could be blockchain within the organization and it's not made public. Like it's not public. It's only made transparent for certain departments or certain ministries in that particular domain. So that is private blockchain. And organizations need to know this, need to invest in educating themselves and empowering themselves with the knowledge and the right information to be able to understand how private blockchains work. So, for supply chain management, for instance, for insurance, for instance, for governance, for instance, I wouldn't suggest they use public blockchains. I suggest private blockchains. And these private blockchains have designated validators, designators, designated you know, miners that are going to be there to validate transaction or validate data that is going to be moving around that blockchain. So for supply chain, a particular
So,
product
is
moves
it
from
still considered decentralized in
yes,
that
it is.
case?
It
If
is
there are
decentralized.
still
Yes,
administrators in
yes.
charge.
Yes, even the
So, for instance,
Bitcoin blockchain that is very public. Sorry for cutting it. Even the Bitcoin, Ethereum, the Cardano blockchain, the Phantom blockchain, the Harmony blockchain, the Binance blockchain, all of these blockchains have validators. The validators are like administrators, and they are not like humans just sitting down and watching. These are machines plugged in on the chain. They are super machines, supercomputers plugged in as validators and they are rewarded for the work they do. And the work they do is to validate transactions, validate data, validate information that are being moved on the blockchain, right? So for private blockchains, you can have designated validators that are particular numbers, right? For the Bitcoin blockchain, there are miners. For the Ethereum blockchain, there are validators. And it doesn't say that it is no longer decentralized. It is decentralized and there are levels and ranges of decentralization, so to say, right? So it is still going to be decentralized, even though it's going to be private blockchains.
mm, okay. So now, for a small business owner, like a someone who maybe let's say like a foam company, they make foam and
Yes,
they distribute foam all over the company, all over the country
yes.
of Nigeria. How could they apply blockchain to their supply chain management of things?
So the departments, the accounting department, the production department, the marketing department, the logistics, the haulage department, in within that company, each of the departments, they're going to have their own ledgers on the blockchain and they are able to store information. So for those in production and manufacturing, whatever they produce, whatever they manufacture, every information is stored on the blockchain. They have um their own dimension. They have where they store their data on the blockchain. And then it moves to the next department. Now, all the information, all the data in their part of the blockchain in their node. I don't want to use too many technical terms because it's not just tech people that are going to watch this. I'm using very simple terms. If this was a master class, I'll use more techy terminology. But all of the people in that particular department are plugged on their own department of the blockchain. So information is going around, but just within members of that department. Now it moves to when those products after production, it moves to, for instance, packaging and branding and whatever. That's another blockchain department within that private blockchain. Now, all of these details are not released to the public except there is need for it, except there is requirement for it, except there is strong demand for it. And within that company, all the departments will have their compartments in the universal blockchain
Mm,
for
okay.
that company. And they are able to manage information flow. They're
Mm,
able to manage crisis. They're able to manage uh, in data, in that ecosystem within themselves.
mm.
And nobody is going to feel cheated or nobody's going to feel like they were not carried along because everything
Everything
is going to be
is
systematic, it's
open
going to
there
be
on the
transparent within that
organization.
organization and is not taken out. Yes, so that's pretty much
All
how
right.
they can take
So someone
yes.
once gave me an example. If for instance some, in quotes, politician um, had
Yes,
access to a certain amount of money, right? And
yes,
was supposed to allocate that money to certain industries, maybe to the health sector, certain sectors rather, health sector, maybe real estate sector, or maybe works or whatever. Or let's even say education. Maybe it's some local government chairman or the other who was supposed to purchase, raw materials to build new classroom blocks. Because
okay,
the money is on the blockchain, such finance could not go in any other direction than towards that educational institution, because that
yes,
contract, so to speak, is already signed and sealed and is immutable, cannot be changed. So, if, for instance, he wanted to
yes,
redirect it from education and send it into, I don't know, some other sector, transport, or maybe even into a personal pocket,
okay,
who knows? It wouldn't be possible
yeah,
anymore because of
yes,
blockchain. And that example just, gave me a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, with the hope that someday um, it could help to solve the level of corruption that we're experiencing today.
mm,
Now, Dr. Talet,
yes,
this conversation, could continue for ages and ages. There's still so many questions I would love to ask you, but time is fast spent. We've already gone over 40 minutes, and that wasn't the plan. Um, but thank you so much for talking to us and giving us some really great
thanks for having me.
examples. And we will be checking out these platforms that you talked to us about. That's Mara. We'll be looking out for Mara,
Yes,
and we'll be looking out for
Norika,
Nurika as well.
yes,
Definitely, we'll be looking out for those. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
thank you for having me.
I'm going to be signing off in a few seconds. But Dr. Tale, in case you don't know who he is he's just such a great guy. I remember him because of a platform that he founded back in the day. Now the platform is called Crypto Elites, right? Crypto Elites
Yes,
still around. Crypto
yes,
Elites Hub, right?
of course, growing and waxing strong. Where we have members right now in 15 countries
Wow,
and more.
amazing, amazing,
And yeah, we're growing. And
amazing.
basically, we're a crypto education hub,
Mm,
and we are a community of elites, people who are doing great
mm,
in banking sector.
yeah.
Some pilots are there, some military, different professionals, engineers, lawyers, doctors, but then they needed knowledge in the blockchain and crypto space. So You become a member, and then you're able to access education material, have conversations on how we can leverage blockchain and crypto
Mm,
to improve Africa,
mm.
both here and diaspora. And pretty much that's what we've been doing. We've really been doing great.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine. I can only imagine. Thank you so much. I know you're busy and you took out time to
Thank
talk
you.
to us today. We really appreciate you. I have some blockchain news
Awesome.
coming your way if you want to stick around, but let me share the news now.
Okay. Okay.
All right, then. I'm just so grateful that Dr. Tyler could take out time to talk to us today on Blockchain Mastery Podcast. And I did say I have some news. Now, let's talk metaverse. Apparently, Disney is reportedly scrapping its metaverse division. It had major plans earlier on. Now, the entertainment giant Disney has reportedly ditched its metaverse division as part of a broader restructuring plan to cut its operation expenses by about $5.5 billion and lay off potentially 7,000 staff over 2 months. Now, the news was reported by the Wall Street Journal on March 28th, citing people familiar with the matter. And now, the Metaverse division is understood to have been created in February 2022 to create new ways for Disney audiences to engage with its stories. Now, Disney patented a virtual world simulator, which aimed to facilitate headset free augmented reality AR attractions at the Disney theme parks on December 28th, 2021. Now, the firm also considered how it could integrate metaverse technology into sports betting, but the idea really didn't go forward. Now, the decision to cut operation expenses and staff count came following consultation with McKinsey and Company to find cost-cutting opportunities, according to the report, and unfavorable economic conditions and increased competition in the streaming sector these days are the two main factors that led to that decision. Both Disney's former and current chief executives, Bob Chapek and Robert Iger, once considered the metaverse to be very bullish as an investment opportunity. But Chapek has reportedly described the metaverse as the next great storytelling frontier. And hey, you never know whether they might change their minds. Iger previously worked as a director and advisor in Genies, that's a digital avatar platform running on Dapper Labs, which is a Flow blockchain as well. So there's quite a lot still happening in that space. Some are investing more, some are investing less. Let's talk China. Now, Chinese officials have been actively developing its fintech industry with a strong focus on blockchain tech, despite the country's stance on cryptocurrencies. Now, on March 28th, the Ministry of Industry and Information Tech, a watchdog for Chinese fintech industry, says it intends to improve standards for its blockchain technology development by 2025. The information came from a draft of its guidelines published on the ministry's website, which also called for public opinion on blockchain development from all walks of life. Now, China's plans, or rather, they're planning to have clarification on the level of design for its blockchain and distributed ledger tech standards, maybe by sometime in April, to make further input on this draft. But when it comes to development, it kind of aligns with the China 5-year plan for a national economic and social development vision by 2035. Now, it set that deadline for certain technological developments, such as digital industries, which blockchain is listed as a target to grow stronger. And the quality of such industries like communications equipment, core electronic components, and key software will also be improved. So, hey, there are quite a lot of things happening. Now, in February, China announced plans for a new national blockchain research center. When will we have a research center in Nigeria? Well, maybe we actually do have one in the making. I might not know. Not yet. No one's told me yet. Now, the center aims to connect Chinese universities, developers, and blockchain businesses to research core blockchain technologies to push the industry expansion. And in September 2022, Chinese government claimed that the country makes around 84% of all blockchain applications filed worldwide. However, It was revealed that only 19 of all the filed applications actually received approval. Nonetheless, the Chinese blockchain industry is very active. According to the national white paper, China has over 1,400 companies operating in its blockchain industry. So, do you have an idea? Might blockchain be key to making this idea sail through better, get better investors? You never know if maybe that really great idea actually needs a home on the blockchain. At this point, I'm going to be wrapping it up. And speaking of technology, I've mentioned when we started the conversation that I've been taking advantage of an AI called addcreative.ai for my social media posts. Now, it's a very efficient solution for people that spend a lot of time trying to create designs for their social media pages. Is it Merry Christmas? Is it a Happy Birthday? Is it motivational quotes you want to do? Whatever it is, you want to put your logo in there, want to put your brand colors in there. Addcreative.ai actually helps. Now, scan the QR code on your screen right now, and it'll redirect you to the website addcreative.ai. All you have to do is put in the information you need, maybe upload a logo, upload a picture. It'll give you 100 different designs in different shapes, sizes for LinkedIn, for Google, for Facebook, for all the sites where you want to upload your posts and designs. Yeah, it'll do that for you at the click of a button. Just let it load and you are good. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now and make it happen for you. Now, it's been a great conversation so far. I'll be back in not too long, actually, to have another interesting conversation. But I would love for you to stay close, stay right here, scan that QR code while you can. This solution might just be for you. Thanks so much for watching.